Good morning. As you've probably guessed, I'm in Canmore this morning, and I'm here this morning to finish off my photography location guide. Now that has been taking a little while, just because I haven't shot that much actually in the town of Canmore itself. There's a few spots kind of around the outskirts that are a bit more obvious, so I'm trying to find some new ones for this guide. And today I'm starting off my morning on the main street of Canmore, because it's a little bit neglected, right? You've got that very famous shot of BANFF Avenue, obviously running down the main street of Banff with Cascade in the background, but there's lots of the town here in Canmore that does have some pretty impressive mountain ranges behind as well. So we're starting here by the village plaza, which I think I'm going to get a shot. And it's actually Canada Day today, so you might be able to see here that people have actually started already putting out their chairs for the parade later on today. And I think they must have been there all night. But I mean, they're going to get some front row seats. Loads of tiny little kid ones there, so hopefully that will pay off and they get some good views. But yeah, this is going to be the first image of the morning. And there is also one location that I'm definitely looking for today. I don't really know where it is, but I'm going to spend the rest of the morning scouting that out. I've seen a couple of images before of this kind of red roofed log cabin with the three sisters in the background, and it looks like it has some potential to be a really nice shot. But in honesty, I have no idea where it is, so we're going to go and scout that out afterwards so that if you guys visit Canmore, you can find it. Right, let me show you the first composition of this morning. You can kind of see here that I'm on the main street of Canmore. That is the village plaza, just there, the kind of grocery store. Harling on the left, east end of Rundle here. But you can see how I've kind of lined up this composition a little bit here. I'm kind of trying to somewhat centre the building here between the mountains. It's not 100% possible just because of the angle that the building is. And also what I've done here is I've gone a little bit tighter just to kind of crop out that lamppost there. I didn't want that in, so I've gone a little bit narrower. And what I'm kind of really into at the moment again is this 16:9 frame. I'm probably even going to go even tighter and make that aspect ratio kind of wider just to cut off the sky. I mean, again, as in the last video, I've got perfect blue skies today. There might be a little bit of wispy cloud, but if there is no colour in the cloud, then I'm not going to include the sky, to be honest. And one of the key things with shooting in towns and cities, in my opinion, is getting here early, right? So I've set up the camera a little bit before sunrise, during blue hour when the lights are on in the building. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot those lights on in the building now, and then probably wait like another 20 minutes, half an hour for the sun to hit the peaks, and then I'm going to shoot it again, and I'm going to blend those two together to get a kind of a more dynamic result, I'd say. Then after this, yeah, we're going to go and scout out that new location that, to be honest with you, I don't really know where it is, so that might take a little while, but I think it'll be worth it to know where it is for later on, because I think it's going to be a good shot. So as you can tell now, the light is starting to hit the mountain ranges behind the kind of village plaza, and that's really what I want. That's what I've been waiting for. And that light's come onto the mountains at about 15 or 20 minutes past sunrise. So when you're in the Rockies or in the mountains in general, you do normally have to wait a little bit longer just for the sun to come up over the horizon. So Google might tell you sunrise is, I think, 5:27 or 5:30, but realistically looking more like 5:40, 5:45 to get any kind of golden light on any of the mountains. But yeah, I'll combine those together in post and let me know what you think. So the next location I was hoping to find today, I've been scouring Google Maps for. And essentially online I saw kind of one or two pictures, actually pretty much used by a real estate company, I think, where it showed this log cabin with a red roof and then the three sisters behind it, and it was kind of a compression shot. So probably shot on a longer lens to make the mountains look much bigger behind, right? And I thought that could be a really good spot for a sunrise, especially if you had some good cloud, right? But I can't really find it on the map. So it's going to take a bunch of driving around to kind of find where it is. On the one or two images that I did see of this kind of log cabin, it looked like there was a path in front of it, right? And it's a clear view, there's no trees in front of the house. So that's making me think that it's probably near the river. And I can kind of see the perspective of the mountains, so I have an idea of the angle and maybe the kind of general zone it might be. But I think what I'm really going to have to do is just drive around a bunch and hope I can track it down. So it might take a little while. Maybe the light won't be great by that point because it's already getting a bit later in the morning, but it'll be worth finding it because I think it will be really good and it could be worth coming back to. But at the moment you can see the three sisters are just here, but I don't think the angle is quite right. We're not quite at the right kind of perspective. So yeah, we'll drive around and see what we can find. Not really sure how much sense this is making to me, to be honest with you. You might better see, that's the kind of end of the Three Sisters, just there. So I think that's kind of the perspective, but I'm a bit higher up and there's some trees there. There are a bunch of houses down here. But I don't know if I go down there, I don't know if it's going to line up properly. I don't know if it's going to get the right perspective. So maybe this shot I'm looking at is even, maybe the house is even right over there on the other side of the valley, and then you're kind of shooting with a longer lens to compress it back. Yeah, definitely going to be a tough one to find. I mean, from the research I did online, I've actually put a couple of stars on here, starred a couple of locations of where I thought it might be. They looked like they had red roofs. So I'll go and check those out, but kind of after the initial drive around, it doesn't look like that's going to be right, just because I feel like I'm going to be too low. But we will try it. Just further back there was a building site actually, which looks quite new to me. So hopefully that building hasn't just been knocked down and they're just building something else there. But yeah, we'll see. The search continues. So that there, that was the first little red roof I found on Google Maps. But clearly that is not a log cabin. A second marked location was just this house there. It's got a red roof, but it's definitely not the right one. Let's go and have another look at this picture online. So you might be able to see that image there. You can probably just about see the red roof of the log cabin and the Three Sisters in the background. That's what I'm looking for. And looking again at this image, I think I actually need to head further west. Like I can see a lot more of the right-hand side of the Three Sisters, of like the third sister in this image. So to get that perspective, I think I need to go further west, and this might even be the other side of the highway, but I can only find like 2 or 3 images with that red building in them, but I'd like to find it. Found it, but that did take absolutely bloody ages this morning. That was a lot of driving around. If only there was some kind of guide you could download that would take you to exactly where you needed to be. Check out that link in the description below if you want to grab one of those. But in the picture I saw, there was another building to the left of this one that seems to have been knocked down. And I think even the building itself is not as wooden as it used to be. It looks like maybe they've plastered some of that over and it's a little bit darker. But to get the air compression or the perspective from the image that I saw, I am going to have to go further up the river. But I was right, that little pathway does run along the bank of the river. This is the bank of Cougar Creek. But I reckon maybe walking up here 5 or 10 minutes will get us the exact composition that we're after. As you can see, it took me so long to find this little house. The sun's pretty high now. It was a good couple of hours, so the light's a bit harsh. But before I shoot anything, I'm going to save the GPS coordinates of where I'm stood into my phone to add to that location guide. As it is so bright out now, I'm actually just going to shoot this handheld because I'm going to get more than a fast enough shutter speed with the amount of sun. And I'm going to use a kind of focal length of around 70 to 100 millimeters, I think. That's going to kind of crop in quite tight and also make the mountains appear like a little bit larger using a bit of like focal compression. I mean, right now there are no clouds in the sky, it's not sunrise anymore, so I don't really need to include much. If I was here at sunrise and there were some nice clouds, I'd probably shoot a bit wider and get all that in as well. But I think this is a great little composition actually, and one I've never been to before and one I'm definitely going to come back for. So today, it might not be the most exciting image from this location, but let me know if you manage to get a better one. If you manage to come here at sunrise and get one, let me know. Tag me in it on Instagram or let me know in the comments below. But I'll definitely be back. But for the meantime, if you want to know where this is, definitely check out that location guide. And just imagine this composition, but with glowing skies or some golden light splashed across those peaks in the background. Super glad I found that little spot in the end. It took a little while, but I think it was worth it. And I'm genuinely really excited to come back and actually shoot here at sunrise. There's some nice clouds in the sky. That's going to be really cool. The red of that roof just pops really nicely. But I know I've harped on about it a bit. If you want to save yourself some time and you're coming to visit the area and you want to know where these cool little locations are, do download the location guides in the link in the description below. It's a great way to support the channel. But hopefully, if not, you found the video useful and interesting. and hopefully I will see you on the next one.